Welcome to Altitude Adjustment. My name is Mario Vitanzi, and in honor of the Denver Broncos, I'm going to make sure that I do not get offensive until the last 15 minutes of this show.
I don't understand. Why do you even need to be offensive at all? Like, you schedule it or something so that you have to make sure you're offensive? Like, who you tripping on, man? What's your problem?
Okay, and that's Mike Carmelini, and just like the Denver Broncos, he will be defensive immediately. This is Altitude Adjustment.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.
You might be thinking to yourself, I've watched this show before, and usually it's Mario and Pat. Sometimes there's 3 people, sometimes there's 8, but why, pray tell, are there 4 people? Well, this is the newest, hottest segment in all of Denver Broncos podcasting that I like to call Cover 4.
That's a long lead
that
in.
poorly,
I like it.
that poorly made logo, obviously brought to you by Render Force, and the fact that I'm too cheap to pay to have their logo removed. So, Render Forest, hopefully my check is in the mail. Welcome to Altitude Adjustment. This is the second ever installment of Cover 4, where I bring in 3 of the brightest minds in all of Broncos country, and then also have myself, who is a average mind at best, and we cover 4 topics, hence the name Cover 4. But before we get into that, guys, free agency ended today, and the Broncos famously did nothing. So before we get on to the real topics, we should probably satiate Zach Seegers, who put this video together and this thumbnail, and decided to name this episode "Should the Broncos Have Traded for Jalen Waddle?" And since that's the title, I guess we have to touch on that. But just free agency thoughts in general. Mike, we'll start with you. Are you glad that they didn't make a move? Do you wish they did? Thoughts?
First of all, thanks to Zach for setting us up with a title that none of us even wanted to talk about. But we'll talk about it for you, Zach, and for you, Mario. First of all, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. These are my guys here, so really appreciate that. I was Sean Payton said he told the team in the locker room that he had the guys that he needed in that room to go all the way. Now, if you say that as a coach, and this is a very close football team, as you guys know, they're very close. And then you go out and sign a Waddle or someone like that. I don't know, man. That's risky. I think he's a good player, but no, I was not on board with it. I think you saw my tweets earlier, Mario. Look, you can complain about the team, but they're 7-2. And they're getting it done. No, I was fine with it. I would have been okay if they did it. I wouldn't have hated it, but I'm definitely fine that they didn't.
David Talks Buffs, who is actually talking Broncos tonight. What do you think, man?
Yeah, first off, shout out Mario, had me on the show. Zach, I don't know who's in control of this, but why'd you put my long ass face in the smallest video frame here possible? I'm trying to fit it in.
Here you go, David. We'll block Mike's face.
Well, don't block my perfect smile, though. What the hell?
Actually, you know what? The way that this is structured, there we go. This works. This is good. So then we have the bicep boys on the same side, and then the long face gentleman on the other side. This is beautiful.
Yeah, man. I like this. Man, here's the deal. Sean Payton telling the team, yeah, we got everybody to go all the way, baby. Really? Is that why you had to bring in 41-year-old Mercedes Lewis this past week to block for us? Man,
said it after.
Baloney, man. What a bunch of baloney. You got Jalen Waddle available. You got Garrett Wilson available. You got even, they're not even starters, but guys that would help this team. Taysom Hill. We couldn't go out and throw a 7th-round pick for freaking Taysom Hill, having Mercedes Lewis on the practice squad right now. Are you kidding me? So yeah, am I crashing out a little bit? I am. We should have made a move, man. Screw them picks. Screw them picks. We're far removed from Russell Wilson. Stop living in hell, baby, man. Now's the time to go win, and we failed. We failed to do it. The only thing I'll give the Broncos credit for is not trading anybody away. You didn't want to bring in Jalen Waddle and then say, screw you, Troy Franklin or Marvin Mims, trade one of them away in return. You didn't want to do that. So you didn't break out the vibes. The only guy that maybe you could have moved on from for maybe Demario Davis, how about that? Alex Singleton. But again, I guess he means more to the chemistry of the locker room than he does with the play on the field. So
I feel attacked.
We have 1 for and 1 against. Go ahead and break the tie. Did the Broncos do the right thing by doing nothing?
You're going to really hate me after this one because I am very much indifferent on whether or not they made the move. Because like it would have been awesome to have a playmaker like Jalen Waddle on this team. But also, I think a little bit of the reaction from Broncos country is very much short-sighted after what we witnessed on Sunday. Mind you, that was the best defense in the NFL. We were without Marvin Mims, arguably our best gadget guy and closest possible comparison to Jalen Waddle. When you look at the way that our receiver room is already constructed, we've got 4 guys that are averaging over 10 yards a catch. Pat Bryant's one of them. Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton is almost at 15 yards of reception. So is it really necessary to bring in a 5th guy to muddy up that wide receiver room? I don't think so, but if it were to happen, I would have been all in on it as well. So, I'm the most indifferent person possible, I think, when it comes to this. Now, Garrett Wilson, on the other hand, my Buckeye fandom really got the best of me when that name started popping up. I was like, whoa, J.K. Dobbins already brought this offense back to where we need it to be. What happens if we add another Buckeyes offensive player to this roster? What could happen? By the way, number 1 in the first college football playoff ranking of the 2025 season. Shout out Bucks. Let's go, baby.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure Strez is indifferent because he roots for the Ohio State Buckeyes, who will undoubtedly win a 2nd straight national championship, and that will take place before the Super Bowl. And so Strez is checked out from the Broncos side. So glad you're on this Broncos podcast, Strez. Shout out to you.
I've been honest and open about this. The last time Ohio State won the first ever college football playoff in 2014, what happened the following NFL season? The Denver Broncos won Super Bowl 50. Where was that Super Bowl taking place? Santa Clara. The Ohio State Buckeyes just won the first ever 12-team college football playoff this last year. What number is the next Super Bowl? 60. Where is it being played? Santa Clara. I'm telling you, lock in. We're 7-2. We're mad because we didn't go get an extra piece on offense. Whoa, you guys realize how good it is right now?
You realize he's totally taking my side, David.
No, you're stressed, man. Here's the thing. You're an Ohio State fan, bro. Do you
I know.
Are you ever upset having the deepest wide receiver room in college football? We could have had that today if we had some stones.
Here's what we need to do. We need to go win the Super Bowl this year and then tank next year for Jeremiah Smith, and everyone will be happy.
Wait.
Except us.
Yeah, I don't know how Broncos country would feel about tanking for anybody. T-Fish is sorry we took so long. You said before we started, and then we started and talked for about 10 minutes. But before we start, hypothetically, if Bo had thrown better and the receivers didn't drop as many passes, would we have wanted a wide receiver before the deadline? I say no. Glad we didn't make a move. I'm going to be honest, T-Fishes. I don't think that that's a big aspect of it. I think Bo shows a modicum of growth from week to week. It's like, yeah, the Broncos are 2nd in the NFL in dropped passes. And that's a big stat. And it's something that, you'd rather be on the other side of. Bo misses a decent amount of long throws. But I think for the people that are upset, like David, and I don't want to speak for you, David, but I think in general, the reason that Broncos country is upset that they didn't want to make a move or that they didn't end up making a move is because they're this is our window, right? Our window is officially open. We're more than halfway the way through the season. The 2nd or 3rd best team, I think, depending on tiebreakers, would have a home playoff game at this point. Arguably one of the best teams in the AFC. So why not strike while the iron is hot? And I get that. Like, I totally understand wanting to add another piece. But I think on the other end of it is this needs to be like a long-term thing. This is not a 1-year window for the Denver Broncos. You have Bo Nix on his rookie contract. You have all of your big studs already extended for several years. And so, yeah, it would muddy it a little bit if you bring in somebody with Jalen Waddle or Garrett Wilson. Are they putting this team over the top? I don't know. I don't know, because like you guys had said, Sean Payton said that the roster going into the regular season was capable of winning a Super Bowl. And so it's either Sean Payton's ego and wanting to stand pat to that and say, I said that this roster could win a Super Bowl and I'm going to prove it, or he's just going to fall by the wayside and be like, oh man, we really should have. But only time will tell. I don't think Jalen Waddle or Garrett Wilson are necessarily like those massive names where you put them into this particular receiving room and it makes like a gigantic difference. I think if you're there, then you're there. And if you're not, then I don't think those guys are necessarily putting you over. And then real quick, Hydramo?
Hydra
ammo. Okay. I don't like two ways back to back. Change that for next time. Which is more true after today? A, Broncos don't believe they're in the window, hence why no trade. We kind of already discussed that. B, Broncos tried to call on Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Waddle, but the price was too high. Gentlemen, I think we can agree B.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Oh, hey, Zach. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch the show. Aren't you glad that we talked about the topic that you had? But now that's Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Two Gloves.
I think Zach would rather put his finger in an electrical socket than ever acknowledge anything positive about Russell Wilson.
Well, I got still his Discord profile pic.
I got an email today. Russell Wilson's on Cameo now.
But boy's got to do what he can to make money.
Honestly, I get it, man. Nothing like the backup quarterback of the New York Giants wishing you a happy birthday. You know what I mean?
Mike.
Before we get into it and get into our 4 topics, respect my co's, appreciate you watching and commenting. We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived. And you know what? Maybe that's where we are as a fan base and as a franchise. Hell, maybe I'm just going to drink the orange and blue Kool-Aid and convince myself that everything's fine, that it's okay, that the Broncos offense doesn't typically get going till the fourth quarter, even though I literally started the show with a poorly constructed cold open about the fact that they don't start until the fourth quarter. But I don't know. Respect my co's. Maybe magically this team will just start clicking offensively. Maybe the copium that I'm drinking is telling me that they just played the best defense. They beat them. They're not going to play a better defense than that for the rest of the year. They scored 18 points. So by that logic, they will be scoring at least 19 points every game for the rest of the season, right? Is that how that works? Fantastic. Yeah. All right, let's get into our first topic of Cover 4. David, let's start with you. What is your topic?
Okay. Guys, this segment is covering somebody who is greatly underappreciated. Somebody who is just absolutely dunked on when he came to this team this year. You said, you didn't need to spend assets to go get this guy. What? You can go get an undrafted guy that can do the job the way that he does. But you know what? Sean Payton, or maybe rather George Payton, had some foresight. He said, you know what? I believe in Sean Payton. But let's be honest, man. This team isn't going to be amazing on offense, particularly third down this year. Not yet. Not yet. I think we're like 19th and 20th right now or something like that in third down conversion rate. Not good. Not good. This offense has struggled for 3 quarters out of 4 pretty much every single game, right? Jeremy freaking Crawshaw is the reason why we're 7-2 right now and not like 5-4. All right? Jeremy Crawshaw has had the most punts in the NFL this year as a rookie. Okay? And this guy is looking like he is. And I coined this when he was drafted. And I did say the last time I was on here before the show got banned that we were going to draft a punter in day 3, and we did it. I also said Pat Bryant. Yeah, I'm a genius. All right. Jeremy Crawshaw, franchise punter. He is looking like he's going to be the punter here for the next 15 years. And all he cost us was 1 6th-round pick. I want to read off some statistics for you guys. Now, this also is bad news about the Broncos offense, but who cares?
I do.
Second place in punting net yards is Johnny Hecker at 1,684 yards. You want to know where Jeremy Crawshaw is at right now? Dude, this man is at 1,918 net yards on 46 punts compared to Johnny Hecker's 42. This guy is booting the crap out of the ball. He also leads the NFL with punts inside the 20. Johnny Hecker is also, I believe, second in this category. No, he's not. Some guy named Corey with 16. Jeremy Crawshaw has 20 punts within the 20-yard line. And the big momentum shift of this past game was not the Broncos doing something on offense. No, it was when they got the ball in like their own 10-yard line or something like that, go 3 and out. It's like 4th and inches. I want us to go. And you know what Sean Payton says? No, put Crawshaw out there. And Crawshaw boots a 67-yard punt to pin it within the 15-yard line. Within the 15-yard line. And the broadcast lost their mind. They lost their mind. They're like, oh my God, what a boot. What a boot. It took away all the momentum the Texans could have gained from that 3 and out. And then we started scoring, baby. He also had a 73-yard punt. That went for a touchback. That's okay. Kick more touchbacks if it means this god-awful coverage unit doesn't have to do their job under Darren Rizzi. Jeremy Crawshaw has saved what's been left of the Broncos special teams this year under Darren Rizzi. He is every single time worth that 6th-round pick. Put some respect on his name, already being one of the best punters in the NFL. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's an all-pro here within his rookie contract.
I love it.
So David is adamant that Crawshaw is the real deal. And I think if you've watched any Broncos football that you would agree. Unfortunately, Darren Rizzi has the rest of special teams looking more like special ed teams. Strez, what are your thoughts on this? How do we fix it? Is it fixable? Does Rizzi need to go bye-bye? What do you think?
Oh man, I think Sean Payton did a really good job of covering his tail yesterday in that press conference, where he said, "I know I was talking about the personnel on the field," and I'm like, "No, you weren't." And that's one of the things that I've been telling people since Sean Payton took the. Believe about 17% of what Sean Payton says. Like the remaining 83%, probably blowing smoke up your ass. Like just take it with a grain of salt, you know. I do think that part of it is some of the people that we have on special teams. Like Sunday night, the Seahawks had a nose tackle on their kickoff coverage unit, caused a fumble. Do you think that Darren Rizzi's ever going to be able to make a move like that?
They had 2 big boys right there front and center that were almost like they're serving as wedge busters.
Yeah, it was an impressive feat, and I just don't see like a special teams coach like Darren Rizzi having that kind of riz or aura or whatever the kids are saying these days to be able to go do something like that. On the subject of Crawshaw, though, Davis Mills converted 1 3rd down. Like, I don't think that we were it wasn't necessarily important for us to like pin them deep all the time. Granted, we had a hard time moving the football, but I mean, on the year, like Houston is one of the worst 3rd down offenses in the league, which is absurd. But I mean, we watched their offense up close and personal this last week. So I don't necessarily know like if Crawshaw was like absolutely necessary for this last game, but he did come in handy. And I think that that's where I land on having a guy like Crawshaw. Is damn, it's nice to have him, you know? like I'm not excited about our punter being on the field literally ever, but at the same time, it's like, you know,
he's been on the field more than any other punter in the NFL right now,
which is not a good thing, but that's why I'm saying it's a good thing we've got him, like probably a good thing that we got him.
Crawshaw is like a really good punter is like a spare tire. You don't want to use it. You never want to be in the situation where you have to use it. But if you do, you're really glad that you have one that is really serviceable and will get you home. Mike, are you concerned about the special teams outside of Crawshaw and Will Lutz, to be perfectly honest? And is this something that could bite the Broncos in the ass? Like, obviously, it's the facet of the game that doesn't really get talked about a lot unless it's bad. And so the Broncos special teams units have been talked about a lot because, well, they've been bad.
Oh, we're talking about special team. But I got to talk about Crawshaw. I'm sorry. In a tie ball game on the road, yeah, that punt was huge. Like, it did matter. They just needed a field goal, and we're the ones that won the game. And I got to give David props on that. Like, I'm never going to go MVP punter, but that was huge.
Most valuable punter.
I felt a lot better when we kicked that punt. I was like, okay, the defense isn't going to let them march down there. You can't have it. Tight game. Special teams. Mario, with the type of ball we're playing, very reminiscent of the 2015 Broncos, as you may or may not remember. Great defense, crappy offense, somehow getting it just enough points to win. There's a lot of similarities. We'll get into that. But, special teams is the one that could burn us. And Sean Payton, I love him. If you want to find out how much you love Sean Payton, get rid of him. That's when you'll figure out how good Sean Payton is. But he's got his faults, and him hiring his buddies and covering for him is one of them, Mario, because Darren Rizzi is a downgrade from the shit that we had before. It's bad.
Do you imagine Crawshaw with last year's coverage unit? Because last year's coverage unit on teams was unbelievable.
Yeah, at least they did something
average
good.
To below average to mediocre punting. And it's just like, you had this great coverage team and this ass punter, and then they just kind of like switched. And now you have this incredible punter and this ass coverage team. And they're like, I want to say this. This is meant as no disrespect for the players themselves. Like, this is clearly an issue with coverage and coaching. So it's like when you see special teams struggle as much as they are, that is 100% on coaching. And David, like, this is a fantastic topic because this is how good Crawshaw has been. He's been so good that you look at this special teams unit as a whole and you're like, they're not that bad, right? Wrong. Crawshaw's just that good. Any closing comments about special teams? Anybody? Yeah, David?
Yeah. Yes. 2. I love the fact that he's wearing the great number 16 in honor of Tom Ruin. I don't know if that's why he wears it, but it makes sense. It's fantastic. But also, there was all this talk in preseason training camp. Man, he's looked inconsistent. He's looked bad. Whatever. This is my theory. Darren Rizzi was trying to cast his evil spell on him, screwing him up. And Jeremy Crawshaw had to just start ignoring the coaching. And then what did we see? We saw him become the best punter in the NFL. That's just my theory right now with how the rest of special teams has looked right now. Doing what Darren Rizzi, I guess, somewhat teaching them or not. He has done great overcoming whatever is in that room right now. And you can give him this win to the Texans and this win and the win against the Jets. So how about we start talking not about QB wins, punter wins? He's got 2 of them.
It's fantastic. We'll close the first coverage point on that. Strez, we'll kick it to you. Second coverage point of cover 4. What do you got for us?
J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey should be the only running backs to touch the field for the rest of the season, unless they both die in a plane crash. I'm tired of seeing RB3 trot out on the field for 8 snaps a game and get targeted for a pass and not catch it and do anything. Like Tyler Bidet, he's had his flashes, right? Like, I will give him that. He's had flashes. He's there are moments where he's like, oh my God, that was like a really nice run that he just broke off. But at the same time, I'm staring at these statistics. We've already seen what J.K. Dobbins is. J.K. Dobbins is 305 yards away from being our first 1,000-yard rusher since 2020. It's week 10. And he is Philip Lindsay. That's our last 1,000-yard rusher. It's week 10. He's 305 yards away from breaking that 1,000-yard mark. Like, we're looking at the potential of J.K. Dobbins having 1,400 yards this season. Oh, and by the way, R.J. Harvey, fantasy points people out there, running back fantasy points per touch leaders, minimum 40 touches. R.J. Harvey is first with 1.23 points per touch. Oh, by the way, among rookies with receiving touchdowns, R.J. Harvey is third. Behind only Emeka Egbuka, go Bucks, and Torrey Horton. At this point, I think it's like offensive coaching malpractice to take snaps and touches away from your first 1,000-yard running back in 6 years and a kind of dark horse rookie, offensive rookie of the year candidate. It's coaching malpractice to continue to trot Tyler Bidet out there onto the field when you have these two guys who are fully capable of doing every single aspect of what it means to play running back in the NFL. Drives me nuts.
Fair points. Mike, what do you think?
Man, he's right on the head. I'm the old guy here. So who was Terrell Davis's main backup running back all those years where he was setting
Derek
all those
Lavelle.
records? At one time?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the third running back? Who knows?
Howard Griffith, technically, but he was a fullback.
Howard Griffith was a fullback. So my point is we should know who the third string running back is. I agree with Strez. It should be JK and RJ. But I mean, JK, first of all, is one of the most underrated Broncos running backs I remember in a long time. That guy's fantastic. And the hate I see on him is crazy because I've been nothing but super impressed with JK. He fights for the tough yards. He's got great vision. He's always falling forward. Doesn't take a lot of negative plays. I mean, he's everything we needed.
He's on pace for this right now. 1,312 yards.
1,300 yards. Thank you, Strez. I'm on board with that. And RJ, if you're not excited about him, then you're also crazy because that guy's a scoring machine. He's showing a lot of potential, and we're gonna have a great future at the running back position. I don't want to see anybody else out there. I totally agree with that take, Mario.
Trez got so mad he left. He's so infuriated by Tyler Bidet that he just left mid-show. Marky brings up a really good point. You can't trust a running back that changes the pronunciation of their last name.
I resent that. I resent that wholeheartedly as the former college running back on the panel my nickname is a misnomer. That's not how you actually pronounce my last name, but you could trust me. I swear. I had one drop in college and 3 fumbles my entire college career. You could trust guys like that, but the problem is I wasn't running behind a J.K. Dobbins and an R.J. Harvey. That's the only difference.
Well, not only did he change his name, but he changed it to a device that cleans your butthole. So that's 2 strikes.
Also, fair. David, what do you think?
I'm disappointed in this panel right now. Put some respect on Tyler Bidet's name. What the hell are we doing? We sound like a bunch of casuals.
Why? Can he punt or something?
Nah, man. Here's the deal. Strez, you make a compelling case. And with that kind of case, you would have thought we would have traded some draft picks for Jalen Waddle today. But we didn't do it. But here's the thing about Tyler Bidet. Is that we got RJ and JK. JK, still one of the most injury-prone running backs in the NFL based on his history.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man, I know. So, let's just manage this thing a little bit. What
is going on with
what is your camera doing? What the AI shit was that?
My cameraman, too, was falling asleep over there. Pay attention, Chewy. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead.
All right, here's the deal, man. He's getting like 13 snaps a game, and I ain't going to freak out about this, but he has been fantastic in his role. Now, aside from maybe Tennessee, I think he didn't have a great game, or maybe it was like week 2 against the Colts, and then this past week, he had some drops, didn't do great. But Tyler Bidet has 10 catches You know how many of them have gone for first downs? 6.
8. Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe it's 8. I'll double check. Yeah.
No, Mario's just
guessing.
guessing. Don't worry about Mario. He's
I got 6 right here. Tyler Bidet has been fantastic in his role with, we're going to get you the ball once or twice a game, and we just need you to make a big play. And they've been big-time plays for us. This man right now, this is just the yak that he's averaging per reception. The yards after the catch, 11.6.
You did go to the gym today.
Yeah. How about that? 11.6 yards of yak after the catch. I like Bidet in his role. I don't need him playing more. The 5% or the 10% of snaps that he's on the field is perfect.
Can RJ Harvey or J.K. Dobbins not do that?
No, because you want to keep them healthy.
That's why you have a 2-back system already.
Dude, we're talking about J.K. Dobbins, man.
Yeah, he's not getting injured. Don't even say
what
it
do you think, Mike? Any closing thoughts on this?
I mean, I already said my piece. I mean, I like Bidet too. I do. I mean,
I think he's great on special teams.
He has made some plays, but I'm siding with Strez. Like, RJ and JK are better. I don't care about injuries. I care about playoffs. I care about winning games. And until one of those guys isn't performing and needs to come out for the game, then make him the number 2, and then we can talk about it. But he's the number 3 back. Let the guys. You got to get in a rhythm. I mean, Strez, back me up on this. When you're out there, you got to get hit. You got to get your legs under you. You got to get your adrenaline going. All that stuff before you really start to feel yourself. And sometimes I do agree with the talking heads about, maybe we're over-rotating our running backs. These guys never look like they want to go out of the game, and there's a reason for that. Strez, back me up on that, please.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, every time JK breaks off a long one, he's doing that, vintage Ohio State feed me, right?
Oh,
Made
Ohio
famous
State,
by Zeke Elliott.
Okay, but whatever.
Made famous by Ezekiel Elliott he does it. And running backs, they start to feel themselves. I mean, we haven't really had a chance to see RJ Harvey kind of develop that in the run game, but we have seen RJ get that going in the pass game. I mean, he just had 3 touchdowns last week and then had another one this most recent game against one of the best defense in the league. I'm just like, I don't know why we keep just like throwing a third person in there for like whatever reason when RJ and JK can both pass block, catch the ball out of the backfield, and run the football. It drives me nuts.
I have a theory, and I'm going to run it by you guys before we go to the third coverage point. Do we think that maybe this isn't that much of a pertinent problem if Sean Payton actually dedicated parts of the game plan to like sticking with the run? I mean, this has been a consistent gripe ever since Sean Payton took over, right? And the last 2 seasons, you had Javonte Williams was a shell of himself. You had Jaleel McLaughlin, who was a nice story, but he's been inactive pretty much every week. So it's like, yeah, I get it. The last couple of seasons, it was difficult to stick with the running game. Even though everybody on Twitter, everybody in Broncos country was begging and pleading, Sean Payton, just run the damn ball. Now this year, there's a valid reason that he can and should stick with the run, and it's because they're running the ball extremely well. So maybe, just maybe, if Sean Payton actually stuck to the run and wasn't making Bo throw 40, 45, upwards of 50 times per game in situations that don't call for it, and he's getting J.K. Dobbins 20, 25 touches a game, and he's getting R.J. Harvey 15 to 17, possibly even 20 touches a game, then maybe those 5 to 7 touches of Tyler Bidet don't seem so bad because it's all about percentages and balances. So maybe, just maybe, if Sean Payton listens to himself, mind you, I think we all remember when he wrote "run the ball" on the back of his play sheet and still didn't do it.
He needs to write it on the front of his play sheet next week.
On the front of the sheet.
He needs to write it on Vance Joseph's forehead, so every time he looks over at him, he's like, "Oh, yeah."
Let me ask you guys a question, and people in the chat can play along with me. 3rd and long, number 28's in the backfield. What's going to happen?
He's going to pass it to him in the flat.
It's going to be a screen. Yeah, it's going to be a called screenplay. Like it works the first half of the season, and then now I'm sitting on my couch yelling, "That was the most obvious screen pass I've ever seen coming." And obviously, defensive coordinators are going to pick up on that too. And unless Sean puts in some sort of pump fake deep ball, and Bo somehow magically hits one this year, I don't think that it's going to do anything for the offense. It just, I don't know. It drives me nuts.
The way you're talking is like Bidet hasn't, earned the right.
I think he has.
He's.
I'm not saying he's not, but the problem is
both of those guys.
I'm not saying he hasn't earned it, but the problem is we don't need 3 of them.
Again, part of the problem.
I don't even know who's James Cook's backup. Who's James Cook's backup?
Ty Johnson and the kid who's the rookie last year. My God,
he's obviously not from Ohio State.
Who's the third string running back in Baltimore? Who's the third string running back in Philadelphia? Right, we're talking about really.
Pete Mitchell's actually a dog.
I don't disagree with that, and in times when they've needed him to come in, he's been good to do that. And I think when JK does get hurt, if he does, that's when we see a bit bigger helping of Tyler Bidet.
Yeah. Here's what we have to say about screens. And again, it's a perspective thing, right? So you're thinking that Bidet shouldn't touch the field. He's touching the ball too much. We're also talking about screens. The Broncos have run more screens than any team. They have more receptions via screens than any other team, and they have more yards via the screen than any other team. So we want to bitch and moan about the screen because I think maybe like half the time or maybe a little bit more than half the time, it feels like the screen doesn't work. But it's just one of those things, like the screen is almost an extension of the run game. So getting mad about screens in some instances is like getting mad about ISO or power, really just running the ball up the middle. It's like you get 2 yards on a run up the middle. You're like, oh, okay, we got something. You get 2 yards on a screen. You're like, what the fuck was that? That was the worst play that I've ever seen. But they're accomplishing the same thing. And as long as we're talking about like Broncos teams from the past, when Peyton Manning first got here, they didn't really have much of a run game. Their run game was actually the screen game. If we can go back to 2012 or 2013, 2014, 2015 even, during the time that he was there. Now, when Noshawn Moreno started establishing himself a little bit, that changed, even though that was also a part of his game. And then with C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman, it changed a little bit more. But early on in those Peyton Manning days, there weren't as many complaints about the screens. Why? Because, yeah, you're right. They had Demaryius Thomas who could pop it from anywhere. They don't have that guy. But they do have guys that can get between 2 and 8 yards consistently. And I think the reason that these screens stand out is because, A, we're flooded with it. We're seeing it so much. So the times that it doesn't work, percentage-wise, is a lot. So we feel like the screens never work, when in reality, it's about half the time that they work as well as they need to.
Yeah, screens were great 10 years ago, guys. I get that.
But you know what? They work more often than not with Tyler Bidet.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Mike wasn't like, well, without screens, how do I keep the bugs?
Let me tell you something about screens, you little bastard. This isn't about Tyler Bidet, David, by the way. It's not.
I feel like this is absolutely about Tyler Bidet.
It's about overutilization of your third running back.
It's an RB3 problem, not a Tyler Bidet problem
for me. It's not. I like Bidet. If one of those guys is out and Bidet plays the whole game, I said this at the beginning of the season. I still feel confident in Bidet. I really like him. So it's just it's just using 3 backs that bothers me. It has nothing to do with Bidet, really. He's a playmaker, and if he got enough time out there, I think he would do really well. And also, a lot of the screens that we complain about are just a blocking back out of the running back out of the back. He makes a block and then he leaks out as a dump off. They're not really screens. Some of them are, but I hate screens when they don't work, but I love them when they do. Like every play.
One good point made by 2 people in the chat. First, Daniel Winters, the wide receivers are missing blocks as well on a lot of the screens. Correct. Dom Mars, 58. The players miss on their blocks when a screen is called. It's so annoying. Absolutely. And there it is. I think we've talked about Tyler Bidet and screens enough. Segues are weird, so we are just going to transition right into Mike Carmelini's coverage point.
Thanks, Mario. Thanks for being offensive before 15 minutes left in the show. I kind of knew you'd do that.
You know what? I was a little bit early. Let me
do it again.
Let me rein it in. Let me bring it back. Okay, Mike Carmelini.
Oh, thank you.
What is your coverage point? Yeah,
guys, I'm excited. I don't like the way we're winning some of these games, but man, talk about 2015 and 2025, 10 years separating two Broncos teams that are eerily similar. So just to set up, like, I know it's early, but the Broncos of 2015, they were 7-2 after 9 games. We're 7-2. It's not too early to talk a little bit about playoffs, okay? Because the AFC teams are all flawed, including the Broncos. I get that. Our quarterback's struggling to make things happen. Offense is not clicking right. But the Colts, the Pats, and the Broncos are 7-2, first place in their divisions. And then the Steelers lead the North at what, 5-3, guys? Is that right? Something like that. And the Steelers beat, like, I think they beat the Colts and the Pats. So it's all convoluted at the top. It's not too soon to start talking playoffs, guys. This team can, if they just stick to winning one game at a time, this seems very much like a team that can find a way to win games, which is very different than it used to be. I saw a stat earlier in the week. I don't know if it was Romy or somebody, but it was like, last year we were 1-6 in one-score games, and this year we're 5-2. Those 2 losses, by the way, the one to Indy was bullshit, as we all know. That wasn't Tillman that was called on the leverage play. Come on. Now San Diego, last-second field goal, fine, they beat us. I'll give them that, but not much, because they've got big problems, as you know. I don't ever talk about injuries, so I won't, but they got problems.
A massive problem.
Yeah,
maybe the biggest one.
And so the Colts are vulnerable. I mean, I hate to say it, but the Pats, they've been beaten up on really weak teams, right? So I like May. I'm a big Drake May fan, but he's getting the crap beat out of him. I don't see that as sustainable. The Steelers are, I don't believe in them. The Chiefs are 5-4, guys. Is it too early to start doing some math here? Because in 2015, they went 12-4.
There's never a good time to do math. Math is for nerds.
Math. I'm a nerd. So I got a Star Wars shirt on. I got my Star Wars tattoo. So suck it, Mr. Offensive. I'm doing math.
I like math.
This team can certainly be considered an AFC favorite, and they should be. I don't care about Waddle, and I don't care if they use Beatty, and I love Crawshaw. But this team, it's time to start looking at playoffs and getting excited about it.
All right, Strez, look into your crystal ball, man. Let's fast forward to the playoffs. Where are the Broncos come playoff time?
I originally, David, what did I pick them? The 2 seed?
That's right.
We originally, the Blucifer boys, like ourselves, like we predicted them to go 14-3, I think, and be the 13-4, be the 2 seed in the AFC. But right now, the way that it's kind of looking right now, we have 7 wins after 9 weeks. We might be looking at a first round bye.
Round bye. That's what I'm saying.
And like, that's just like a bizarre thought to think. Obviously, there are things that are going to need to be corrected, right? Like the amount of penalties and penalty yardage that we constantly have are going to lose us games. The special teams performance is going to lose us games. Bo Nix being so up and down. I just need to see some more consistency from the guy. Granted, he wins. Bo Nix is a winner. That's one of my favorite things about the kid. But I need some consistency, right? But if we get 3 of those 3 things, even remote, like cut in half, like improved by just 50%, this team very well could win their remaining, 8 games? I mean, and it all starts this week with, maybe the toughest test we have this entire year.
The Raiders.
A team that just traded away their only receiving threat, and now all we have to do is cover Brock Bowers and stop the run. Like, it's going to be tough.
This is where people start saying we're jinxing it somehow by saying shit like that. But the point is, they should win that game. We're 9-0 at home. The Raiders are coming to town. They're deflated. They're trading away their best players. We win that game. Like, I mean, shooting for the number 1 seed, this team would be with home field advantage. I'm saying it would not be. I would not be as surprised. I was surprised we won the Super Bowl in 2015. To be honest with you, I was not going into that.
I think a lot of
Sunday.
people were.
Well, but I mean, even as a fan, Mario, like at the game with all we had the big Super Bowl party.
I know what you mean. Absolutely.
And I'm like, hey, I'm not going to get my hopes up. And then I just remember at some point in the game looking at somebody and going, we could actually win this game, right? And it was like, and then when it happened, it was like, holy crap. Looking back on it, it's like, oh, we were this historic team and this defense, and it's all true, but they were never the Super Bowl favorites. They were just like this team, guys. They were messed up and they made it happen. There's something about their gritty. Tebow's wins were fluky. Everybody wants to compare Tebow to Bo Nix and how we win games. No, this is not the same thing. Those games were whack. Like they were just fluky, fumbled, weird stuff happening, and then somehow we won. These are different. We suck, and then we don't suck. They just got to figure out how to not suck the whole game.
Nix is Tebow on Bo Kane, I think. David,
Tebow with actual quarterback skills.
He's Tebow if Tebow could complete a 5-yard out.
Yeah.
What do you think, David?
Dude, that's the reason why I had to put on my Peyton Manning jersey, because this team feels like 2015, and Stress called it. Stress called it on our show. We do a weekly show. We'll probably do it next week, but
yeah, when there's a game Thursday, we can't hang out this week.
Do it again. But Stress is like, man, we need record prediction. We can't be scared, man. We need caught as we see it. 13-4. We're right on track for that, baby. We're right on track. The thing is, I think the Broncos got the potential right now to be the best team in the NFL, even with an offense that doesn't function for 3 quarters. All they got to do is beat the Chiefs, man. If they can beat the Chiefs, I'm completely sold in this team. I still am terrified of what they're doing, even though they're at 5-4, man. They're a very good team. Yeah. And that's still something. Yes, we destroyed them when they were starting Carson Wentz. We actually need to get the job done this year and make Mahomes cry. But yeah, Super Bowl's absolutely on the table. That's why I want us to go trade for another guy. But it is what it is, man. Maybe we do got the guys to win it all.
We might not even have to beat the Chiefs to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. So it's not about them. We just got to win out.
I hate the idea of that, though.
I do too.
That would be kind of cheap.
I thought you were saying like, oh, we could still do it without beating the Chiefs. No, it's like it would feel hollow.
My point is, when was the last time after 9 games the Broncos were in complete control of their destiny? That's where we sit right now. All they got to do is take care of their own business. We don't need to worry about all these teams behind us, the Chargers and them. If we just take care of us, we don't need anybody to lose for us. I'm so sick of waiting for a team to lose so we can sneak into the playoffs. This team is tied with the best record in the whole NFL. Just take care of business and you're going to be right there.
Yeah, and we're looking at an offense that is number 13 in total offense right now. I mean, rushing offense, we're number 7, and comparing to the quarterback of that 2015 season, Bo Nix, 17 touchdowns to 6 interceptions with 3 additional rushing touchdowns. Like, I mean, apples to oranges, but I mean, the quarterback play is better, which is crazy to say. But I mean,
it's remarkably better.
If you threw more interceptions, he was terrible.
Than touchdowns.
Yeah, he was terrible that year.
People forget how truly bad Peyton Manning was because they won the Super Bowl and because they were good enough when they needed to be. But he was bad that year. I mean, Peyton Manning was so bad that when he decided to retire, Broncos fans were like, "Yeah,
it's time.
It's the right."
Yes.
Yeah.
He got him in the right plays, Mario. He got him in the right plays. He took him out of the wrong plays. He made just enough throws, but yeah, he had a dead arm. It was over. It was very sad to see how quick it happened, but it does happen to every athlete. But
yeah,
you can't discount what Osweiler did that year, of course.
No.
What the coaching did. I mean, Kubiak, that offensive system, it got it done. But we have that defense, right, guys? We need Bo to not turn the ball over. He doesn't do that very often. We'd all like to see everything be more consistent.
40 sacks. 40 sacks.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're
through 9 weeks.
If this goes the way I think it's going to go, they're going to be talking about, man, that's a historical team, man. That's a historical defense. That's this, that's that. And it will be. I mean, we're living it right now. We don't have to look back at it. I mean, we're living it right now. It definitely is on the table, especially with Crawshaw and Bidet in the lineup. Because you're my guy. Dave. I I'll see you Thursday night.
I'm gonna do a really quick run through leading up to the playoffs. Marky had said in the comments that this is a classic trap game, and to me that's such a bizarre term, and it's an arbitrary term because it's like, really, like what is the definition of a trap game? Is it any team that anytime an underdog plays,
they only exist in college football,
and then they have a chance to win. So it's one of these bizarre things where it's like, does it make it a trap game because the Raiders are terrible? But they're a division opponent, so they technically still have a chance. Was the Titans game a trap game? Was the Jets game a trap game? You see what I'm getting with that? So it's so every time that the Broncos are heavily favored, are we going to consider that a trap game? And so I think the next two games are different kinds of measuring sticks. With this game against the Raiders, they're cleaning house. Pete Carroll clearly should have stayed retired. He is so out of his freaking depth right now. He has got to be completely miserable. There's no way Pete Carroll saw these things going so badly. Oh, and by the way, to all the people who tried to trick themselves into saying that Geno Smith was a top 10 quarterback, I hope that you feel like a complete moron right now. Because thinking that Geno Smith was better than 22 other quarterbacks is objectively insane to me. And I'm just glad that everything's played out the way that it has. And what are the points that you're trying to make, Mario? I'll tell you, this is a game that the Broncos need to handle and handle quickly. This needs to be like their game against Cincinnati, where this entire national audience is bitching and moaning to the league and to Roger Goodell saying, wow, another craptastic Thursday night game because the Broncos beat the Raiders by 20 and everybody wanted to tune out, but baseball is over and not a lot of people care about basketball at this point of the season and hockey's a thing. So what the hell are we supposed to watch? We want people to be mad that the game got out of hand before the fourth quarter even started. That's the first measuring stick. You are a far superior team to this Raiders team. You need to act like it. You need to play like it, and this game should not be close. It should feel like this game is at hand throughout the entire game. The same way that the Bengals game felt and the same way that the Cowboys game felt. Then the following week, the Chiefs are coming off a bye week. Historically, Andy Reid, very good after the bye. So, of course, that's why the schedule makers did what they did. They have to make sure that they're still helping the Chiefs any way possible. At least the Broncos get this little mini bye. But this is the ultimate measuring stick. You could say that the one definitive team the Broncos beat that maybe they shouldn't have beat was the Philadelphia Eagles. I think realistically, you look at every other one of their wins and you're like, yeah, they should have won that game. That game that they won, yeah, they should have won that game. So far, the Eagles are the only team where I was like, that's genuinely impressive because I did not see them winning that game, and I think the majority of Broncos fans in Broncos country did not see them winning that game. This is the Kansas City mother effing Chiefs. This is the stupid-ass ref-laden team that has been coddled to 3 Super Bowls in the last 9 years. This is the evil empire. You have to show up and show out against this team, and you have to make a freaking statement. You don't have to win by 20. You don't have to win by double digits. But you need to win that game and show the entire league and the entire NFL and the entire miserable state of Missouri, we're here and we're not going anywhere. There's a new king of the AFC West. And if they beat the Chiefs in 2 weeks, they will win the division and they will go to an AFC championship game. That is the prediction that I am making right now. On the other end, if they are not able to beat the Chiefs and they come up short once again, it proves to us that they are not a serious contender yet. that they should have done something at the trade deadline, and that maybe they are still a year away. Because if the Chiefs beat the Broncos in that game, the Chiefs are winning the division. I guarantee it. But if the Broncos are able to win that game, they go to 9-2, they very well could finish with 13 or 14 wins realistically.
After that,
aside from Kansas City at Kansas City, none of those games bother me.
No, at
none
Washington.
Of those games worry me. And ideally, week 18 against the Chargers, maybe that's a Jarrett Stidham game.
Yeah.
That would be best case scenario.
Well, I was going to applaud you until you finished up with that bullshit, Mario.
No, we have to get Bo to 4,000 yards.
Yeah. I mean, if we lose to the, let me see if I can.
Then he better light it up before LA, because I don't want any of the starters playing in week 18.
Okay,
I want them to do what the Chiefs got to do with us last year. Everybody chilling on the sideline in their little starter jackets, and I think they're going to be wearing the throwbacks. All decked out in their throwback gear. Let some of the practice squad guys get their throwback jerseys in week 18. That's what I want to see. And listen, Stress, you're right. He needs to go throw for 4K yards. Guess what? Then he needs to do that shit in 16 games. Like the old days.
That Chiefs game at home is a trap game. All right? That's a trap. That's a definition of a trap game. If we lose that, I'm going to say, it was a trap game. The lowly Chiefs game. We underestimate them. But that's, you know what a trap game is? It's when you lose to a team that's worse than you. And then, it was a trap game. Nobody wants to admit they got beat.
Week 18 is the A.T. Perry. We're finally going to get the A.T. Perry game.
A.T. Perry showcase.
I don't know if you're privy to like this inside joke.
I am. I'm on Twitter and Discord.
Okay. Okay, well, great. And I've made a deal. And Marky, I'll go a step further, since this A.T. Perry thing is just taking on a life of his own. If A.T. Perry is active in week 18,
you're gonna get an A.T. Perry
buy
tattoo.
an A.T. Perry jersey, and I will do a giveaway live on the last regular season altitude adjustment show of the season. At any point. At any point, not just week 18. If A.T. Perry is active at all, right? I don't even know what number he is.
On Kalshi, I need to put a bet on. I
probably
need to
can't
bet on Kalshi for an A.T. Perry touchdown this year. Just anytime.
Oh my god!
An anytime touchdown for the rest of the year,
for the entire season.
The payout would be insane. That would be like plus 10,000. You can get any sort of odds like that. It's just they're a little bit worse odds than like Mercedes Lewis scoring a touchdown. The fourth and final coverage point that I want to get to, and this one is mine, and I open the show with reference to this. We've been talking about why the Broncos are serious contenders and why they've proven that they are sitting where they are throughout the course of this show. I'm having a really hard time being completely all in on this because of the nature of this offense. And I get it. 2015 offense, very similar. The defense was unbelievable. They carried them. That was 10 years ago. Different teams, different league, different way that the NFL runs. You have to be able to score points. The way that the rules lend themselves in today's NFL is because people want to see points. So you see the defenses consistently put at a disadvantage in ways that we didn't see 10 years ago. I have got to see, and I know we joke about it, and again, that was my cold open, was making a joke about how the Broncos don't get offensive until the fourth quarter. I have to see something change. And we saw a glimpse of it against the Cowboys, and I'm like, that right there. If they can play that type of game, and I understand that the level of opponent and how their defense is, I just need to see them put it together, because I don't think that you win these last second games against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, not with the way that the officials are going to help them. That's why you need to handle your business. The Buffalo Bills took the officials out of the equation because they handled the Chiefs pretty much from pillar to post. The game wasn't as close as the score. That's what the Denver Broncos need to do. You start off by doing that against the Raiders. You play a complete 4 freaking quarters and prove that you can actually do that. You carry that momentum over onto the Chiefs because that is the only way you're beating the Kansas City Chiefs. You play a complete game through 4 quarters. Your offense is not inept for 3/4 of the game. And then you will prove to me and to everybody out there that finally the Denver Broncos are legit. So, David, we'll start with you. Does the fact that they are consistently basically like lying in wait until the 4th quarter, does it raise any red flags for you? Or are you just like, keep this rig rolling? If it's not broken, don't fix it?
Yeah, we're tied for the longest win streak in the NFL, man. It does annoy me, but I think we have won games in uglier fashion and ended up winning Super Bowls that way. Like, again, I still feel like this offense operation right now looks better than what we had in 2015. It's not ideal, but I think we can still get by with an imperfect offense this year.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm right there with David. I mean, I do think the team has shown the growth, that we haven't had over the last, several years. I mean, we were what were we last year? 1-score games, 1-6. We're 4-2 this year in 1-score games. And those 2 losses are by a combined total of 4 points. So it's not like our offense isn't able to score points, right? Like, we've seen how inept this offense could look, right? I mean, those the Russell Wilson years with Nathaniel Hackett, oh my God, that was the worst I've ever seen of an offense, right? So we've seen it bad. I don't think that we're close to looking like that, but I do think that you're right. But again, a little short-sighted.
Chris, I think Ohio State in their current, the way they're currently constructed, they could join the NFL and their offense would look better than the Russell Wilson Nathaniel.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Just throw it to 4.
Okay, I'm sorry for doing that, everybody. If Ohio State is mentioned again, we're ending the show.
He's going to get an Ohio State jersey with A.T. Perry on the back of it.
No, but I think a little short-sighted. Again, the Houston Texans defense is spectacular. They're so fast at every single level. They make life difficult for a quarterback. They make life difficult for running backs. We're not going to be playing. Bo Nix said this today after practice to the press. He said, we're not going to be playing the Houston Texans again for the rest of the season, right? So, like, we're not worried about that defense. We're not going to need to be worried about, having to play against, the top-ranked defense the rest of the season. And it's going to be a great opportunity this week to go in and have a get-right game against a bottom third defense in the Raiders. The offense is going to have a chance to work some of those kinks out, especially coming on. Like you guys know, when you're running with weights on your ankles and then you take those weights off and you feel light as a feather. That's what this is going to be like. We were running with weights on our ankles playing against the Houston Texans this last Sunday, and we're going into Thursday night playing against the freaking Raiders. So the offense is like taking the weights off their ankles, and they're going to be feeling light as a feather. Like, it's just like I don't think that we need to be too worried about I mean, if they still look like this week 15, week 16, we might need to have a conversation. But we're going into week 10. I'm not that concerned about the way that the offense has looked because, I mean, Bo Nix by himself has accounted for 20 touchdowns. So
that's insane.
Granted, a lot of those have happened in the 4th quarter. I will say that, but still.
Exactly. Mike?
Yeah, I'm right in between these two guys with this take maybe a little bit, but I do worry. I worry about Bo a little bit. When he's off, he's off. So we can call it the offense, or we can call it Bo Nix. So I think the offense, from what I've seen, would probably work a lot better if Bo was playing better in those games. He's missing a lot of receivers. Guys are getting open. He's not seeing them sometimes. And then there's a switch that goes off. He's a winner. So I'm always confident that he is going to pull it out at the end of the game. Like, he's going, when it needs to be done, he gets it done. And so I have the confidence and I have the worry. If I had to choose between the two, I would say confident that it's going to get better. The question is, it's the chicken before the egg thing, right? Is what Sean Payton is asking him to do for most of the game X. And then when it lights up, is he asking him to do Y? Or is it that Bo just can't get it together until he does? I don't know the answer to that. I think it's a mixture of both of those things. I just think, and we talked about this, David, before, he's just he's one of the guys that the harder it gets, the more they need it, he gets better. He doesn't choke. He doesn't freeze up. He's just never shown that. And the last thing I'll say on this one is that the Broncos, they can play a shootout and they can play the close, defensive struggle type ugly win game. Now that is useful in the playoffs, because if you can win either of those ways, like the Cowboys and teams like that can put up points, they don't tend to win later. They can only win one kind of game. So if we go out and blow out the Raiders this week, and I hope we do, I don't know that helps or doesn't help. It would just be great. It would be fun. But if they can win a 13-10 game or a 33-32 game, I'm happy either way, guys. Yeah. They're finding ways to win. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I just like to see it be more consistent. But hey, as long as they come out with more points than the other team when the clock says 0, I'm happy.
That's fair. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like all of these nerdy ass advanced analytics and EVRPPAYG squared or whatever the freaking acronyms are. I don't give a shit about that.
You're attacking Zach, aren't you, on your show?
Did you win? I have no idea what you're talking about. At A_DOTYPPOPPY.
Bose,
did you win? Did you get a win? Did you get a win? I don't want to hear about your nerdy ass stats. Did you score more points than the other team? And this thing about ugly wins. No such thing. Sorry. There's no such thing as an ugly win, because when you look back at the record, whatever it ends up being, if it's 13-4, if it's 12-5, if it's 14-3, whatever the record ends up being, you think when we look back that any of us are going to give a shit what the final score was of these games? Do you think that when we get into January, we're going to give a shit that the game in London against the Jets was like a 1 or 2 point game? No. We care about whether it's a win or a loss. So anybody saying that the win against Houston was an ugly win, shut up. It's a win. There is nothing ugly about a win ever. As long as Bo Nix isn't somehow throwing 5 interceptions and they still win the game, it's like, okay, maybe I want to hand that to you. That's an ugly win. But guess what? Still no such thing, because the win is a win. And now that I got myself all fired up, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to pass it on to you boys, because it is time for what some are calling the greatest segment in all of Denver sports podcasting. This is Bricked Up. Bricked Up, where we tell you what has us bricked up. It could be about the Broncos. It could be about life. It could be about anything in general. So, David, why don't you start us off and tell us what has you bricked up?
Yeah, I'm keeping it on topic with football. You know what has me bricked up? The 2024 quarterback class. But really, only one quarterback out of that class. It is Bo Nix, baby. It is Bo Nix. He was the 6th quarterback taken in this draft. But let's rewind. Let's rewind and remember what everybody was saying about all these other quarterbacks that were supposed to be better, right? Caleb Williams, can't miss guy, generational guy. Dude, this guy has serious bad habits that Ben Johnson is going to spend years coaching out of him. Years. You heard it here, okay? Now let's talk about Jaden Daniels in a body cast, okay? Disaster.
Oh my God, dude.
Disaster. Jaden Daniels been a disaster after winning Rookie of the Year. It was a curse. It was a curse. Skipping Drake May, that's not part of the agenda right now. We'll get to him. JJ McCarthy, are you serious, man? Are you serious, man? JJ McCarthy, awful. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell, dude, what the hell are you doing? You are praying for JJ McCarthy to be like Sam Darnold, right? That's if he hits, he's like Sam Darnold, man. What the hell are you doing? Just letting this guy walk away For JJ McCarthy, total disaster. Okay. Then we can talk about Michael Penix, man. This guy, he's going to get a terrible, like Tua type contract with this team, man. He is so up and down. He is so inconsistent. Falcons, disaster. But here's the thing, man. It's basically down between Drake May and Bo Nix for the best quarterback in this class. All right. Here's the thing, though. Drake May, cupcake division. I'm not even completely sold on the Bills, man, this year. I got to be honest. They always get up for Kansas City. Okay. But Bo Nix has been forged through the fire of the AFC West. And that's why he is obliterating the NFC East right now this year. That's right. Bo Nix, he might not have the stats to show it. Who cares about all that nerd stuff? Bo Nix, he has it. He has it. And it's why we're going to win a Super Bowl with Bo Nix, baby.
Trez, what has you bricked up?
ADOT, babe. I'm just kidding. I actually don't care about this. By the way, just to reference that point for a second, Bo's ADOT on Sunday was like 11.6 yards, and it was awful. So I don't care about that number. I've never cared about the number, and I never will care about that number. What's got me bricked up is the idea of what this defense and Vance Joseph is going to do with Jahdae Barron against Brock Bowers, because this is the exact reason why we drafted a guy like him. I am very excited to see what he is going to do when he comes in this week and goes up against potentially the best tight end we've ever seen. I don't know. Brock Bowers is actually an insanely talented football player. Like, it's actually crazy. But I think Jahdae Barron is equally as talented. The dude has incredible ball skills. The dude has a nose for the football. And one of the things that David and I have talked about is every time he's on the field, like, he is near the football if he's not making the tackle. I mean, he's played limited snaps this season, and he's got 10 solo tackles. He's got 3 passes defense, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery. Like, that's our first round rookie. Like, that's the guy that we went out and got. And this is the kind of game when we have a guy that's going to be lined up close to the line, when we have a guy like Jahdae Barron who is really designed to play nickel in this defense. What's he going to do? What's it going to look like against Brock Bowers in this game? I'm really excited about what this is about to look like this Thursday night.
Man, that's such a great point, Strez. Like, it could solve that tight end problem right there. Just do it.
He did against Dallas.
Dare you?
Yep.
Yeah, Ferguson didn't have a catch. 1 target. And the
Turn
one
Ferguson, baby.
And that was a pick
Yep.
that he had on the target.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, what
That's
has you
not
bricked
what your
up?
mother said last night.
Oh, fantastic.
Sorry. That's such a weird reference. I apologize. I'm old.
Oh, that's fantastic. Celebrity Jeopardy, Sean Connery. Nailed it.
Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. I feel like I'm with the people that I belong with right now, guys. And I
don't know how it ends, but your mother's a whore.
Yeah.
Trebek. Yeah, that was a great skit.
Sorry, Mike, you bricked up.
No, so I've got several things. They stole both of them, actually. So I'm going to go with my third choice. Just get nasty with it and go with Greenlaw. This man has played 2 games. He's got like 40 snaps, 14 tackles. He's got a sack. What? He had 3 straight tackles on that goal line stand. I mean, the guy's just getting started. Oh, David, is he injury prone like JK? No! Don't even say it in my face, mister. I am bricked up for Greenlaw. I'm so excited. Him and Hufanga, like, right in line with each other and talking about their ball skills. You know, you guys have got me so bricked up with ball skills. I can't even stand it. Cecily, could you bring me some sherry? Thank you. Bricked up. Thank you, Mario. Back to you.
Can you talk like that?
Did my British accent come out
forever?
then? I didn't mean for that to happen. Greenlaw. I mean, what do you guys think, right? Like,
fantastic. He was almost single-handedly responsible for that goal line stand. Like,
Can we talk about how he was in the
Crawshaw
right
won the game
yelling
for
at
us,
Brad
honestly.
Allen?
It was him and Crawshaw that won the game.
Dude, this guy has done what I always have wanted to do after the games and yell at the officials, dude. I love Dre Greenlaw. He did the right thing, by the way. It wasn't stupid on his part. These refs are just soft.
Agreed. Pat and I talked about that the episode of Altitude Adjustment following that, and we both said we love this because every single person in that locker room, they're gonna look at that, they're gonna be like, hell effing yeah, bro. Like people say ride or die. That is legitimately most ride or die that you could possibly get as a football player. Yeah,
1,000%. And David and I, we have a segment on our Blucifer Boys show that we have every Thursday night where we nominate a dickhead of the week. And that week it was going to be Dre Greenlaw. But in honor of no Blucifer Boys this week, I wanted to tell everyone who the dickhead of the week this last week was.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Abrams drained. Oh my God. What in the hell was he doing? That was crazy. Can't believe he wasn't flagged. Also, lightest player on our defense takes the quarterback out. That was unbelievable. I was mad at first because everybody knows where CJ Stroud played college football, right? We don't have to say it. So I'm a fan of CJ Stroud. Wasn't a fan of the hit, but yeah, KAD.
Totally clean hit.
This defense. I mean, Mike mentioned it. Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Riley Moss even has a little bit of that dog in him now that that we're seeing, like a vocal, I'm going to get in your face and mess things up, right? That's something that this defense has been lacking the team in general has been lacking. Kareem Jackson was there when he wasn't suspended from games playing, but we just have a bunch of them this season. And I think that is why our defense is the level that they're at right now. It's because of that kind of leadership in the locker room. It's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All I tweeted after the Greenlaw thing was, I just said, worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah.
1,000%.
That just means it means so much. And props to Strez for managing to mention and prop his show at least 5 times tonight while he did it. I got to get better.
That's David's thing. We just do it.
I got to get better at it.
That's
over
what
here at Mike Cup,
adjustment is for.
We just never think about
the platform.
So I really need to work on that over here at Mic'd Up Broncos on YouTube. Find me over there anytime you want. Or on the postgame show with Zach and David on Let's Talk Broncos Network, by the way. Thank you. Did we get them all?
Well,
I think so.
Mike,
did
are
everybody
you
plug
still
their
doing
stuff?
the thing with the Broncos Europe guy? And do you talk in a British voice with that show?
No, actually, he's Irish, so I don't have to. We have enough. We only need one accent per show on the spin zone, by the way. So no, we don't. Thank you, David. God, I'll Venmo you tonight after the show. Thanks. Sorry, Mario.
You're good. That's what this show is for. If we didn't get a little bit off the rails, then I would be very disappointed with the outcome of this show. But before I tell you all what has me bricked up, I just want to thank David, Strez, and Mike for joining me for the second installment of Cover 4. I have such a blast doing this show, and I've had the honor and privilege of doing shows with David and Mike before. Strez, I'm so glad that you were able to join. This was
finally
one of the better groupings I think that we've ever put together. And the great
on the
news
2 times
is that,
you've had the show. This is one of the better.
No.
I missed Engage 8. That was great.
I'm talking any combination. Engage 8 was great. It was just a shame that we had an actual dickhead that acted like an actual dickhead that got the show banned. And that was one of the best. Yeah, that was one of the best shows. That was the that was like the Tenacious D, like the greatest song in the world. I didn't remember how it went. This is not the greatest show in the world. This is just a tribute. The next Engage 8 that we do, it's couldn't remember the greatest song in the world. No. Oh, this is a tribute. Okay. Let me tell you what has me bricked up right now. The fact that Broncos country is all the way back. Why, Mario? Why is Broncos country all the way back? Because in years past, the things that they bitched and moaned and complained about were valid. No, when we already touched about it, the Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett, you have every right to bitch and moan as a fan because that was vomit-inducing. The Joe Flacco years, the Case Keenum years, rage-inducing. You have every right to complain and bitch and moan. The last year of Russell Wilson, when they went into Houston, by the way, and Russell Wilson threw 3 interceptions, one of which sealing the loss and ultimately losing the opportunity for the Broncos to go to the playoffs that year, you had every right to be pissy. So why is Broncos country all the way back? Because they're complaining about dumb shit. Because they have nothing pertinent to actually complain about. The offense is winning them games. The defense is winning them games. Will Lutz is winning them games. Crawshaw is winning them games. They are 7-2, and fans are complaining. And I love that. Do you know why? Because they have nothing to complain about. Let's take it back to preseason. We're going to hop in our DeLoreans, and we're going to go back to July. And Mario is going to tell all of Broncos country, hey, guess what? Week 9, going into that Thursday night game against the Raiders, the Broncos will be 7-2 and in a 3-way tie for the number 1 seed in the AFC. And everybody would get down on their knees and they would say, thank you, Mario, for coming back into time and telling us this. I cannot believe how happy and how ecstatic I am that the team is 7-2. I don't care how they got there, but they're there. Well, here we are. And people are pissed. Why? Because the offense isn't scoring enough points. Because the defense isn't getting enough turnovers. Because the special teams look stupid. But at the end of the day, none of these complaints matter because we're 7-2 and in sole possession of first place of the AFC West. So go ahead and be a hater in your stupid little warped mind, but just know that you have nothing to complain about. And if you want to hate on this team and you want to hate on Bo Nix and any other aspect, you can get fucked. This has been Altitude Adjustment. My name is Mario Vitanzi. That's David. That's Strez. That's Mike. And this has been Bricked Up. Coach Sean Payton, how did we do today?
Gosh, your own little internet shows are driving me crazy.
Sean, thanks for the 7-2 record. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.